Today we're going to be talking about 1 Nephi 1 verse 7. And it came to pass that he returned to his own house at Jerusalem and cast himself upon his bed, being overcome with the Spirit and the things which he had seen. All right, let's talk about "and it came to pass," the phrase that shows up so often in the Book of Mormon. Mark Twain said that if Joseph Smith left out the many instances of "and it came to pass" from the Book of Mormon, the book would have been only a pamphlet. Well, you can see a picture of Mark Twain here. He's a cat guy. That should tell you everything you need to know about him. In the Book of Mormon, "and it came to pass" does appear quite often. It appears 1,404 times. That does comprise only 0.8% of the book, so I think we're going to have more than a pamphlet. I know he's being facetious, but at the same time, this was extremely unusual for any text written in the Americas in 1820s. Thus, the comments that were made by Mark Twain. If he's reading this as a fictional book, this seems like a really repetitive, poor use of ink and poor use of page space to continue to use this same phrase. But what Mark Twain didn't understand is that if we go back and read Hebrew books, like the Torah, for example, "and it came to pass" is very, very common. In fact, it's used to separate thoughts more often than not because of the lack of punctuation. So, Weyehi and Hayah are both phrases that are used almost as periods, as we would use them, or they denote an elapse in time or a new thought. And they're both translated to "and it came to pass." The original Torah shows 1,204 uses of the term, which comprise almost 0.5% of the text, pretty close to in line with the Book of Mormon writers. And over half the terms from the Torah were taken out during English translations of the Bible. So now as we read the Old Testament, it appears like 0.1 or 0.2% of the Old Testament shows terms like "and it came to pass," where if we go back to the actual Hebrew text, it would be closer to 0.4 or 0.5% of the text uses the term. So if Joseph Smith is writing this book, no way he knows that the Torah contains such a high percentage of "and it came to passes" to separate sentences. There's no way he would have known that. If he's writing this as an English writer, he would have never been so repetitive with the term because it looks sloppy. So just another evidence that we have that every time a critic of the Book of Mormon comes along, the thing that they say usually turns around and becomes a proof.